This is wild. The post-solstice depression is real, and it's settling in on the Destiny 2 players as we are loathing and lamenting the return to the power grind without Solstice. I would have never thought that the Destiny 2 community would care so much about this mini event, but because it helped alleviate the power grind so substantially, it's greatly missed. Because now, post-solstice, the power grind went back to what it was before, and it's a lot more difficult to achieve your dreams of 400 or 450 power. In fact, it's so much more difficult that a lot of people are choosing to just take a break and leave the game from now until Ash and Iron, which comes out September 9th, which is about 2.5 weeks from now. How much of a population decrease have we seen? Well, yesterday, Wednesday, August 20th, we saw the lowest numbers during the peak hours. So the peak hours for Destiny 2 are around reset time, roughly, because it's at reset time that the new things are introduced to the game. And so you can see the peaks and the valleys here, right? And we saw 33,000 players on August 20th, which was yesterday. 33,000 players, which is very low. Just to give you a comparison, 33,000 players is at the lowest point what we saw during the really rough last month, 2 months before the launch of Edge of Fate, right? We talked about this previously where the final shape launched immensely successful, 314,000 players on launch, and it aged like milk as we lost our player base. We bled a lot of players very quickly, and we experienced these really low points here. But even you can see here during these low points here that we had 38,000 leading into Edge of Fate, 40,000 the month before, 59,000 in April. March had 49,000, and now here we are at 31,000. 31,000, and we are exactly 1 month into a new 6-month expansion. So this is the first month, the first chunk, and there's meant to be 5 more months. And obviously they're not going to pick up any more hype or steam other than the Epic Raid, which will come out, and the Ash and Iron major update, because we are going to have 3 full weeks basically of relatively low population. I'm not sure why Bungie decided to give such a tremendous power boost and incentive to Solstice and then leave us with nothing afterwards. I feel like it would have been a really nice turnaround if Solstice happened and then after Solstice there was still some added incentive that was helping us achieve that power grind a little bit faster. You could add more pinnacle drops, you could add I don't know what you could, there's lots of things you could do. Increase pinnacle drops, increase the drop rate of primes. Any little marginal difference right now is going to matter so much. The little micro difference is going to make a huge macro difference. Because the power grind is so difficult, we actually had 2 weeks of feeling like, okay, hey, it's not that bad. You know, we'll take advantage of it while we can. And a lot of you achieved 450 power. In fact, to date, right now, there is exactly 4,261 Guardians in Destiny 2 that are at maximum power 450. So a lot of people took great advantage of Solstice and its ability to power level you up significantly faster. Now, Edge of Fate has been out for how long now? July 15th, so we got 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 5 weeks. We're in the 5th week for Edge of Fate. And 2 days in, let me know down in the comments what power level you have achieved thus far. And I want to know what your motivation levels are feeling like post-solstice, because a lot of people have expressed across social media the post-solstice depression. We literally have that summertime sadness, if you know what I'm talking about. We're missing that. That event, as much as that event may not have been as exciting because we didn't have Bonfire Bash or EAZ or whatever, right? I would have taken another week of that. I would have taken another week of Solstice. I would have taken another week of Solstice. I would have taken 2 more weeks of Solstice, because the next thing that happens in Destiny 2 isn't for 2 weeks, and that is heavy metal. For some reason, there's 2 weeks of just complete dryness. It's a barren desert out here, and then heavy metal will drop, which is a fun activity, actually. You got tanks and brigs, and I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that Bungie is smart enough to realize that we want a ton of pinnacle drops for heavy metal. It takes long to complete those matches. It's Crucible, and we want pinnacles. So hopefully heavy metal drops crazy pinnacles all the time, crazy powerful drops, etc., and is worth our time to grind. Because if it's not, it's going to be painful. If you're not caring for the power grind, what I would recommend you to do is to play the raid now. The raid has been lowered in its power difficulty by -10. The raid weapons are crazy good. I mean, look, I just got this bad boy yesterday. This, dude, this tier 4 very good. The rocket is insane if you get the God roll the rocket. You want Clown Cartridge, and then the new Reaper perk, and what else is there? The freaking crossbow, if you get the crossbow with Vorpal, it's like bugged and doing insane damage. The raid weapons are definitely worth it. Jump into the raid if you're burnt out on the power grind. Use Outbreak Perfected. You'll one-phase most of the bosses. Got these damn bra ads on the damn screen here. I can't get rid of these ads. Where's ad blocker at when you need it? I have 2 ad blockers on, and I still get ads. It's insanity out here. A lot of people have been saying lately, hey Lucky, you're a little too negative with the news. We want to hear some positive news. And to be fair, I'm still playing Destiny 2. So there's that. I mean, I'm still playing I'm still raiding regularly. I'm still working on leveling up. I'm still playing. I'm still having fun as I play. But unfortunately, there is a dark side happening right now. There is a decline. There is a downturn happening. And I think it would be very disingenuous if I was like, dude, Destiny 2, this is the best time ever. This is it, dude. This is Frontier, new Saga. Fate Saga is the best. Like, there's some good and there's some bad. Okay, it's always a love-hate relationship with Destiny 2. If you can find the things that you love about Destiny and have fun, then good for you. I'm in that category. But unfortunately, there's some things we gotta be honest about. All right. And the honest truth is that Destiny 2 is experiencing a significant downturn in population. Okay. We're a month into a new expansion and we're at 33,000 players. Let me give you a contrast. Okay. This is right here. This is January of 2023. We had 316,000 players. A month later, we had 312,000 players. Okay. A month after that, we fell down, a drastic fall down. Look at that dip, to 142,000 players. This is Lightfall. And then a month later, we went up to 192,000 players. So we're talking about the launch of Lightfall, a month later, another month later, 3 months later, we're at 192,000 players. Just let that sink in for you. The launch of Lightfall, 3 months later, 192,000 players. The launch of Edge of Fate, 98,000 players. 1 month later, we're at 26,000 players as I'm recording this video. At reset time on a Thursday with a massive TWID dropping. Think about those numbers in comparison. And we're not at 3 months. We're not at the 3-month mark. This game is struggling right now in terms of population. It's struggling. These numbers as well, these are just the Steam charts. This does not represent console, Xbox, PlayStation, right? This doesn't represent that. Or it also doesn't represent Epic Games, the Epic launcher. We don't get those numbers because they don't have the Steam charts. They don't have like a PlayStation charts or anything like that. They don't give us those numbers. But we can figure those numbers out and decipher them through other methods and other means. And it all correlates, basically. However many players there are on Steam, there's going to be a strong correlation to console. It's not extremely disproportionate. And the reason why it's not disproportionate is because there's roughly an equal amount of people around there. It's exhaustion. Game's dead. I'm not saying the game is dead, but I think I would be remiss. I think it would be disingenuous to not say that Destiny 2 is dying. And I feel like it's a meme at this point. It truly is a meme to say that Destiny 2 is dying in 2025 because we've been saying this for so long. Every annual expansion shocks the Destiny 2 community and wakes them up. We start off here, we've got some good peaks, right? And then we have these really low valleys. October 2021, December 2021, and then boom, January 2022. What is this? Witch Queen? Just like a defibrillator, just boom, shocks us, wakes us up. 300,000 players. We launched Edge of Fate with just 98,000 people. Edge of Fate launched with 98,000, so we never got this massive peak. Without the massive peak, the valley is going to be so much lower. So much lower. And unfortunately, when it rains, it pours for these types of things. When the game starts to become unfun because less people are playing, it creates a dramatic increase in player experience and a decrease overall. Basically, it's kind of like the expression, it takes money to make money. It takes players to get players in the game. Once you have a lot of players in the game, it's fun, it's exciting, you want to play the game, you're looking forward to it, there's all these fun experiences. But when there's fewer and fewer players and longer queue times and more matches against cheaters and problems, then you see a decrease, and then it exponentially decreases. It exponentially decreases. And that's the part I'm worried about. Because even though right now 32,000 players on Steam isn't the worst we've ever seen it. I mean, if we look all time, we can go here. I guess might actually be the worst we've ever seen it. Let me see if I can find a point in here where we're lower than that. I'm looking, I'm waiting, I'm looking, I'm searching. All-time Steam chart. Yeah, no, that's literally the worst. I mean, we are literally at Destiny 2's lowest point ever, according to the Steam charts. So it's not an exaggeration. It's not an exaggeration to say what we're saying here, okay? Yesterday, we experienced our peak player base at 33,000 on a Wednesday, a month into an expansion. Today will be significantly lower, and tomorrow will be lower, and tomorrow will be lower. And for the next 2 weeks, it's going to be 3 weeks probably, it's going to be very low. How low will it go, though? How low, how bad will it get? This is the part that I'm scared for. And the reason why I'm scared for it is because I actually really like this game and I really want this game to do well. I don't make these videos to beat up on the game or to beat up on the community or to beat up on Bungie even. These videos and talk about these topics because my hope is that with enough attention put onto it, that significant change would be made. I think the worst thing you can do is let the game that you love, the game that you play, slowly dwindle and die and say nothing and be like, well, it's gone, I guess. You know, just like a fart in the wind, there goes Destiny 2. Instead, I would love to put up a big fight. I would love to make as loud noise as possible to let Sony know, to let Bungie know, to let everyone know that this game is awesome. This game is worthy of massive overhaul. This game is worthy of monetary investment. This game is so much better, has so much more potential. This game could do and be so much more, but it is just suffering, and it is literally suffocating as we speak right now. This game is slowly dying. And just as I said many years ago, you can go back to the clips if you want, I said that Destiny 2 would never die in an instant. It would be a very long, slow, painful process. It would be a very gradual process. And I was right to some degree where we're getting at with this, where we're declining, but I was not expecting to see this. I think this is still the biggest shocker to me, and this is the biggest shocker to everyone, is that every year we get this massive boost to population, and we missed that this year. We just totally missed it. We absolutely needed it. It's essential. This is how Destiny 2 survives as a live service game. This is how they pay their bills. This is how they pay the devs. This is how they avoid layoffs. This is how Pete buys his exotic cars. We cannot live. This game cannot exist without this massive boost. The difference in revenue is so crazy. Just think about this. When the population is this high, just think about Bungie made in that moment. In just that one day, Bungie rakes in, just say, who knows, $50 million, $100 million in just one singular day. Well, if they don't even get a third of that, if they get 25% of that with the launch of Edge of Fate, then instead of $100 million, they get $25 million. That's a crazy loss. That's a crazy loss in revenue. And we just had 2 rounds of layoffs. 2 rounds of layoffs plus a massive loss in revenue for the launch of Edge of Fate is a recipe for disaster. There's no nice way of saying it. There's no kind way. There's no silver lining. There's nothing positive that could be said about this. And I'm not saying it to beat up on the game because, like I said, it pains me to cover this. I would be so much happier being like, dude, Destiny 2, imagine if we were at 400K for the launch of Edge of Fate. We're like, dude, Destiny 2 is game of the year. I would literally be up here screaming at the top of my lungs that Destiny 2 is winning game of the year. And that would be the title of all my videos. I would be pumping out 5-10 videos a day. If we don't get game of the year, we riot. Like, that's the narrative. Like, you know what I'm saying? The narrative can be so different. We're not here to be negative. We're just here to cover the news. You know what I'm saying? I would be so overjoyed. I would be so happy if the narrative was different. You know what I'm saying? I'd be so happy. And I think that a lot of people that comment and think that this guy's so negative, all you do is bash on Destiny, all you do is bash on Bungie, man, this guy, he's such a big hater. It's like, dude, you guys have no clue. You have no clue. I am the furthest thing from a hater. I played this game for 24,000 hours now. 24,000 hours. You think I want my vault to get deleted? You think I want my 24,000 hours down the drain? You think I want all those accomplishments gone? Hell no. I want this game to blow up. I want this game to do so well. I want this to be the best game ever. I want this game to accomplish crazy heights, but it's just not. There's a few reasons for sure, but the biggest one is just laziness. The biggest one is just laziness. We just need more in the game. We need a more ambitious vision. We need more content. And unfortunately we just got layoffs. So it's almost like an unwinnable scenario. You know what I'm saying? It's like we need Bungie to do this, but they can't do this because they don't have the employees or the money or the manpower, right? So because Bungie doesn't have the employees, the money, the manpower to do the thing they need to do to make Destiny 2 incredible, then we're left with this sort of weird, we're like left in limbo right now, you know? we're like in this weird in-between stage where we're like waiting for something big to happen. We want Sony to step in and be like, hey, we're gonna reinvest a ton of money in this, you know? My dream, here's what my dream is for this game right now, and I'll end it with this. My dream is that Sony does the complete takeover for this franchise. Complete takeover. And they announce a huge multi-year, multi-$100 million investment plan. That's my dream. That's my dream. A massive, Sony takes over and they announce a massive multi-year, you know, I don't even know how much money it'd be. Put $1 billion into Destiny 2. You guys can put $2 billion into GTA 6. Give us $1 billion and watch where this game is. This game could be Sony's greatest live service. Unfortunately, Helldivers takes that crown. Give us a $1 billion investment. 10 years, and watch where this game is, dude. Hire a massive team, super ambitious vision. Back to 2 raids a year, back to 2 dungeons a year. You know, experiences like that are essential, and just go as ambitious as you possibly can. I would rather the game be more ambitious and have bugs and problems and errors than be less ambitious and there's no bugs, there's no glitches, there's no problems, and Bungie fixes things fast. Tyson Green is not the answer. I don't know. It's hard to pinpoint one person and be like, you're the problem at Bungie, right? It's hard to be like, it's you. And it's also unfair because there's hundreds of people working on a project, and if you know how projects work with multiple hundreds of people working on something, it's, you know, it's a group effort. You know, the leadership kind of makes the final decisions, and they kind of create the overarching and the guiding principles. I'm sure that there's plenty of people that really want to see the game thrive too. No one wants to lose their job, right? No one's like, yeah, I don't care about, you know, my job. I don't care about the game. Most of the people probably care. They've just, something's happened over time. They've fallen into a rut, and it's unfortunate. You know what I'm saying? They've fallen into a rut. It's sad to see where Destiny 2 is at right now. And I guarantee you, it's going to get a lot worse pretty soon. It's going to get a lot worse. The Epic Raid's going to come out. That's going to be nice for a little bit. I don't know what happens after that. We got 5 more months. 5 more months until Renegades. This game is going to be on life support for the last 3 months. It's going to be brutal. So stay buckled in and make sure you're subscribed, and we'll keep you up to date on all things Destiny 2.